In this live coding session, you'll get to see what test-driven development can look like with SwiftUI, especially when we go down a path and hit a roadblock around logic. And you'll get to see what I do, which is reset, back up, and solve the roadblock. Welcome to the Quality Coding live stream, where we are currently doing test-driven development of a SwiftUI-based game, Mastermind. Greetings to folks who are here. Hello, Mudshark. I think you've already switched to winter time, so thanks for... I guess it's later for you, isn't it? So that's easier than earlier. Yeah. Hey, Garbob. For folks who are joining, well, especially for folks who are watching on YouTube, welcome. My name is John Reed. I am, I don't know, what am I? I'm the author of that. If you aren't familiar with my website, qualitycoding.org, please come check that out. I haven't posted new stuff. I've been very, very busy. And I still intend to take learnings from this live stream series and turn them into blog posts. So this is the place where the fun happens. And I'm really glad to be able to go through stuff and hit challenges and get your input and feedback and critiques and questions and all that. So folks who are watching on YouTube, hey, please consider subscribing so you get more of these. And if you like it, even a few minutes in, give it a like. You don't have to stick around for the full 90 minutes, which is what these live coding sessions are. They are 90 minutes of live coding. I do want to mention, if you haven't seen Quality Coding, the website, it's .org, and yeah, not any new stuff lately, but there might be some old stuff that you might want to check out. So that's that. Let's see where we are and what's going on and what are we doing. Back to our lovely discovery tree. So helpful for regaining context. We want to play a game with a secret length of 2, and we've done various things. What are we working on? Support multiple clicks to guess. Oh, I guess that means multiple, our secret length of 2 that we need to click twice. Let's turn that back into in progress. Some other things about this. Change your mind about, oh, no, not yet. I think you mean like, when are we going to add the button to submit the guess? Right now we have to do multiple clicks is how I interpret this, because we have multiple holes to fill. So that's all that means. I think the button to say I'm done guessing, I would like to submit this guess, will be next. That is after this story. We've got stuff we want to do in here. Game over when the guess is filled. Click advances guess slot. I think let's reorder these so that they are in a more sensible order like that. I think that's what we need to do. Or actually, maybe not. Here's our code, and I left a bookmark here. And there we are currently setting the 0th slot, the 0th guess, and that is all. And then game over, let's see. Here too. Okay, so we've got 2 bookmarks. Let's see if there are any more bookmarks here. By the way, thanks for putting up with me being away for 2 weeks. 1 week was known and planned, and that was my, this past week I was in Japan. And that was lovely. For most of you, going to Japan is a trip to a foreign country. For me, it is going home. And so I loved doing nothing special except lots of bathing. Japanese baths. Especially onsen, hot spring baths. And especially those when they are outside. And especially those when they're outside by a river. Yeah. And the week before, that was a sudden and unexpected trip to see family. So thanks for putting up with my absences. So now we need to make it wait for the complete code to be given before validating it. Yes. That's why, even though I thought I need to rearrange these, if somehow maybe this does make sense in this order. Oh, what was I doing? I was going to look at bookmarks, which are not those. It is those. Okay, so we just have the 2 bookmarks. So given a guess, we want to ask if the guess is filled at this point, at the current state of things. This is probably temporary because even if it's filled, we'll go through an action later to submit it. But we should be able to ask the guess, are you filled? Let's take a look at what we have for guess. No. Okay. So I think what we want is a new method to say, is it filled? Is it full? And that may still be handy. Even when we have the button to submit the guess, I think the button shouldn't be enabled until you've filled in everything. And so rather than is guess done, it's like, is it filled? Is the question. So let's work on that. And let's remember how this works. Secret size. We can peek at individual things. Set and get at indices. The reason I'm humming about set and get at indices is I was reviewing something. Thank you. I have run the tests, but it never hurts to warm things up and make sure. This is something that I really want folks who are new to ensemble programming or teaming. You may know it by the original name mobbing. When you're working on not on one computer, but on multiple remote computers, it is super important for everyone to warm up their system so that the handoff is smooth. Otherwise, we hand off and the next person is like, oh shoot, I haven't like built today. And we have to wait. So thank you for that. So one thing that makes me hum about getters and setters, as I was reviewing some of my notes about what I wanted to do in this series, and one of those is micro objects, including the classic OO sort of rule of thumb that there are no getters and setters. That's something I want to keep in the back of my head as maybe something we want to aspire to. Not sure when it will be applicable. Not yet, certainly. In any case, for this test, let's see, I'll just put it down here. It is actually a straight method we want. What do I want to say? What's it going to be done? Is filled? Guess complete? Is complete? Is filled? I don't know. Is filled should be false when with anything empty is not complete. Is complete within it. With empty slot. That's kind of good enough for me. Let us make a guess and set I'm just going to copy some of this here. Don't need choice 1. If we set something, then is complete should be false. Something like that. Right, we've got a single empty slot. Let's go. Test-driven development. If you, I expect that most folks here on the stream do say hello, you lurkers. Are familiar with test-driven development. For those who are watching on YouTube, if you have any questions, just ask in the comments, in YouTube comments. Questions especially about test-driven development. So we want an is complete method. That is a Boolean. It's not a method. It's a property. So it's a computed property. I'm going to put it, I like properties up higher. So let's do that and get it to fail. So that should fail, saying true is not equal to false, or expected false, but was true or something. It's not. It's good enough. Great. So now we'll see it pass. And let's commit this. What have we got? A new feature with very few lines. And I will push it. Next, the thing with the test-driven development, especially in the first round of a new function, is, are we done? And you know that false is not an adequate answer. Therefore, we are not done. Therefore, we need more tests. So I'm getting tired of repeating choice 0 here. Let's pull these out. Let's do some refactoring. Red, green, refactor. We're in green. That means refactoring is fair game. Let us pull these out into the fixture just to make them. Do we just need this one? Yeah, I'll pull them both. Set up. Oops. Try again. Let's see if I can get this like that. And tear down. We could do this with Swift testing, but I don't feel a strong desire to have mixed Swift testing and XE-test living side by side at this point. All right, now we should be able to get rid of stuff. Good. Good. So that is a test fixture. All right, so that makes it easier to move forward with the next tests. Is complete. There is duplication. Around creating the test. So that's why you're suggesting the make guess. I usually haven't felt a need to abstract that until it, and this is a good question. Do we abstract the creation of the guess right now? The advantage of doing that is when the guess, if and when the guess initializer changes so that we get more parameters, then hopefully we can just fix that up maybe in one place. And yet, I don't feel a great need to abstract those. Again, the advantage of doing that is it makes it easier to adjust. And I typically haven't done that, but maybe I should, just to try it. If you look at, like, let's look at other places where I create a system under test. And you can see, if you can see the small text that Xcode doesn't expand according to fit the theme. I am just making things on the fly. I haven't created something else. You know what? Because I don't like the idea, let's do it. It's not that I don't like the idea, it's that I don't normally do that. Yeah, exactly. So, if we extract make guess, or make SUT even. Then all of these become let SUT equal make guess. I should be able to do all of them in one fell blow. Oop. I don't know. Which do you like? I'll just do that. Let's do it. Do we like make SUT or make guess? I'll just keep it like this for now. Extract make SUT. Thank you. So, I'm nodding here. Ready to try something new. Why not? Just for completeness. Actually, I'll just say is not complete. Rather than saying is complete should be false. I really want to try to avoid computery speak, programmy speak in test names. So this should be true. Now, here we go. This will fail. On this one. The simplest, grossest way to get this to pass, I'm going to do a little bit of evil TDD here. Evil TDD being, let me satisfy the test, but in a way that you don't like. Evil TDD would be code of 1 is not nil. That is bad. Did I rename the wrong test? Oh, shoot. I sure did. Is not complete with empty slot, is complete. I didn't finish with all, thank you. Right, so this passes, but it's gross. And this is one of the benefits of doing evil TDD. Is it says, well, then maybe, even though in our current scheme, we know we're going to guess the slot 0 first because you don't get to choose yet. We're making some, we're making a model here, and I'm almost certain that this model will need to accommodate the case where the guesses do not come in order. So let's do this. Evil implementation of or is complete. Haha. So instead of with empty slot, right, this is triangulation, where this is with this is with the second slot empty. So we can add another one with first slot empty. This will fail on this assertion. There we go. And now the triangulation has forced us to do the right thing, which is not this. What is it? We need to say, is there any code that is empty? Or are they all non-empty? I'm going to start off doing it in brute force, and then we'll see if we can't make it better. For if guess is nil, return false. Otherwise, return true. I believe this will pass. Good. Let's get it in. This is still less than 8 lines, so the risk is not huge. Implement it, yes, is complete. Now, that's a lot of procedural code. Filter for non-null, check that the result has the correct length is one way to do it. Any other ways? I mean, basically, this code is correct, but it's wordy. Let's see, code filter, or do a search. Is there anything where I can like say search for an element? Find. Has any index with nil? Yeah. La 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 la. An array. I guess you can't really see definition of an array. I was seeing, I suppose it conforms to various things, that it's primitive and it conforms to all sorts of things. If I say, no, 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 no. Let's do a search. Oh. Like that? There we go. Thank you. It's become a one-liner. Nice. Can I change this to a trailing? Actually, it's green. If it's green. And this is a test-supported procedural refactoring, so simplify is complete. Can I let's see what this looks like with refactor convert to trailing closure. It's a question of preference. Contains where? If it contains any element that equals nil. I'll take it. So this is an automated refactoring. Convert trailing closure. Cool. So I just did some work without calling it out, but let's kind of go ahead and fill it in after the fact. There, that's done. So now we've got a nice, easy way to ask if the game is, if the guess is complete, which should make it, if we just stick it in here, the tests will pass. The current tests will pass. But I want something to drive it. But I want to try it. So let's see if we can't get guess is complete in there. As long as everything is happy, then we can add some more. Maybe that drives a more complete implementation. So that's good. Let's go to our game screen tests. Around you win and you lose on the inspectable sheet. Shows game over when code choice is filled. Secret size 1. All right. So this, I'm going to rename this test to say when the only code choice is filled. And yeah, now we need another one when it's like when all code choices are filled with a secret size of 2. And so this becomes code choice 0. Yes. So if we have 2 code choices, and I just want to make sure that what we have so far doesn't crash, then we need to do one tap and then another tap. Find the button. Let me run the game a second. Oh, we only have 1. Let's see it with 2. So, it's going to pop up and say the game is done. But what I was trying to think of was, shoot, we need to like click one guess and the other guess, and no, we're only clicking these right now. We're not you don't get to select what order they come in. So this will work to say I'm going to click one and then the other. Okay, let's reset this and come back here. Then we should be able to, when all code choices are tapped. It's not really about filling the code choice. It's tapping the code choice. So if we tap code choice 1. Oh, first thing is that when we tap code choice 1, it should not show the sheet. Yeah. We don't do that yet. Arg. Okay. We don't yet have a sense of advancing. I'm going to reset. Because we need to tackle this as well, and maybe we're at a point where we need to do both at the same time. I mean, I can put is complete in here, but I don't feel right doing so. So let's leave that and also start here. Kind of let's put this on pause. I'm going to do the weird thing. Maybe I'll mark it a different color entirely. It's like that's ready to go as soon as this other thing goes. So yeah, let's advance the guest slot next. And that is here. We need a sense, a model thing of like, yeah. Of advancing. But we should be able to start driving this with a test. What test? No, let's look at the test names. Super tiny, sorry. Tapping code choice sets guess color. There's our code choice out of a secret size of 1. And as soon as we tap it, we get the color of that guess that it will match the code choice. Let's start here. Copy and paste. Tapping multiple choices sets guess colors with a secret size of 2. Oh, here we do have make game instead of make SUT. Let me go back and change that. Actually, I'm just going to note that down here. Always handy to have a whiteboard that's small and right here on my desk. So if I say code choice 0 and color 0. And we add another one and another one. And use that. What is get color of guess in the view? I don't think that's Bark. We need to change this. Reset. Let's make sure guess one doesn't exist in the code. Instead, we have like guess, huh? Where does this ID come from? ID, the code choice ID. Which comes from the code choice code value, which looks like an integer. How is this guess one? I have no idea. Let's find out. View with ID guess one. How is this working? I mean, if this is foo1, our test should break. They do. That's reassuring. It's find on the button. This is color of guess, so it's the button color. So back to the button, of which I think we only, oh, we do have a few buttons here. Oh, here's guess. There it is. Okay. All right, let's do some refactoring of the test code so that guess one is not hard-coded. To do that, the easiest thing to do would be to add, how many places is this used? Just two. So let's add the ID. And fix up these. So now this should be back in green with the hard-coded guess one gone. We moved it up. This is a test refactoring of move guess ID up to tests. Hey, a few more folks have come in. Welcome. say hello if you wish to. I like, even if you're just passing through and you like, I've never seen Swift or SwiftUI, or there probably aren't many people who are doing TDD with SwiftUI. Say hello. I hope there will be more people doing TDD with SwiftUI. Okay, so now we have a way to get the color of a specific guess from a view. Hello, Jonas. Hi there from Canary Islands. I can't stay. I'll rewatch it on YouTube. Love your content. Hey, thank you. Glad you could come by, even if briefly. Hello, and thank you for saying hi and your first time chat. All right, back to here. Back to our tapping code choice sets guess color. Now we can try again. Tapping code choices sets guess colors. Do we want code choice 1? We have guess 1. I'll just use the human indices rather than 0 indices. We can change our minds later. Like that. And when we do that, we should get that. And I believe this will fail because we have nothing setting. It's currently hard-coded to only set what's inside. So both these assertions will fail. And this one will be, oh, I'm wrong. Only the one. What the heck? Unselected as the color name. Right. I thought it was going to be nil, but that's not the name. The name is unselected. Huh. I thought that tapping guess 2. I'm a little surprised. I thought that tapping, not guess 2, the code choice 2 would set the color of, set that color into color 1. So I'm surprised that this is passing, and I want to know why. Because we don't move do slot 1 after the tap? Or is it that the game is done and it doesn't do anything? Let's find out. Like if I just, let me turn on debugging, keep the debugger off as a rule until I want it. And let's run this one test in isolation. And let's put a breakpoint here. Okay, so that's Where is it? Okay, so that's that tab. Let's see if we come here again. We do. With the other tab, right? Yeah. I'm so old school, and I don't use the slot 0 in guess, I guess. What I'm still used to doing PO in the debugger, in the Xcode debugger, print object, even though I think there's a print value. Let's see. Nope. There is a P, but that tends to be pretty raw. So that's code value 2. Going in the guess to set. Or guess to set. Okay, so guess. Let's see what it will show us. We don't have a description. Okay, so that's the difference between P and PO. So we currently have the 0th having code value 1. That's what I expect from the previous tab. And the 1th is nil. Good. What I am surprised about yeah, it's a little confusing, the naming now. Now that we're expanding out of a single guess into a guess consisting of multiple codes or multiple values. But if I step over this and we repeat this command, then there is code value 2 now. It's updated, right? Which is what I expected, which is why I'm wondering, oh, I know why. It's because I already captured the color. All right. Mystery solved. Turn off the debugger. And let's move things. If I do this, say tap, tap, and now get the colors, rather than tap and get the color, tap and get the color. Now this should fail. This was super helpful. Good. Black is not brown. Okay. This is why Kent just called this out on LinkedIn. Kent Beck. If you don't follow Kent Beck on LinkedIn, do. But he called out an old thing that probably came from him. If not, it came from one of the other OG extreme programmers. And that is call your shot with test-driven development. Call your shot. And JitterTed is, I think I really got this from JitterTed, is to say it's not good enough to say that this assertion should fail. You should say when it fails, what it's going to say. So I was a little surprised by the unselected, but then that made sense. But then this one not failing at all, that was a surprise. So that now makes the test better because I really want it to reflect kind of a more reality, not just like tap and then take a quick look and remember it and then tap and then look at something else. It's observe everything. So we've got our failing test. Now we should be able to come back here and do something. At the moment, because we don't have a way okay, I'm going to put that down. Hang on a second. Let's get it to work first. Rename guess to set. It is confusing. Now, because we're no longer, we don't yet have the ability to select a location. It's just going to fill up in order. So let's put the guess in the next empty slot. Does that mean another method? I think it does. I think it does. That is, guess should take care of this for us. The view should not know anything about what to do. It should just say set the next slot. Perhaps we should manually pick slots first, let the automation come later. I know, I'm ornery. You keep wanting to go that way, and even though this is temporary, I want to stick with this because that's going to mean going back and changing a bunch of stuff. On the other hand, we have to change it at some point. La 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 la. The other part of it is that, and maybe this can be evolutionary, when we can say select a destination and then select the color, but it's also handy if it's coming in order to just say fill in the next one. Okay, let's go to the let's play the game. The game I'm copying here. And you can see there's a destination set already. We can change the destination. We don't have any sense of that right now. But if I change the destination and set a color, oh, look at that. It comes back to the first empty slot. So I imagine changing it manually allows us to test it without the complete validation. But I'm seeing that there's still a need that to say put this color in the next empty slot, in the first empty slot you can find. So I think I'm going to go, apologies, I'm going to go that route and do the targeting, setting of the destination next. So let us disable this test. Get back to green. And I'm going to commit this. Okay. Back to the guess object, which is starting to grow and become more interesting. I'm liking that this is going to lead us away from the setting of a particular index, at least in the public API. But what do we want to say? I want to set a color in the first empty slot. Let me play around here by set and get at indices. I think that's the test that comes closest to what we want. So what do we want? It's not a setter exactly. It's a place. Color in first empty slot. When nothing is set yet. Something like that. Again, let's make a secret size of 2. And say long, but it's explicit. I'm actually thinking that I ought to be able to basically copy this test up here and then like that. Right? So this will be a new method. So right now in TDD, we are red because it doesn't compile, but it's not red with the code passing, the test passing, because the test can't run yet. But it drives us to create a new method. This is framing. This will be what goes in here. It is a code choice. Okay. It's not a color. It is a choice. It's the code choice. In first empty slot. There. I think now we've got an empty method that does nothing. What you got? Check. Place color in empty slot when slot not picked. Oh, as the test name. Right. Thank you. In except when no slot selected. Code choice in first empty slot. I can see the need to dance around. Is there a way to empty this? Oh, there is. Look at that. That's something to remember. If I fill in a color here in the middle, now if I just select a couple colors, it should dance around them. So I feel like that might be something. It's only when we haven't picked one that we use the first empty slot. Well, there's no way to pick anything. Do you mean the destination? Because there's no way to pick the destination yet. Anyway, let's see this fail. This should come back with these being unselected. Oh, nil. Okay. That's a fine. Let us proceed. Let's say really what I want is to find first empty slot, find index of first empty slot, and then assign. How do we do this? I don't know. I'm trying to skip over the loop right now. The Swift array find index of matching element. First index of. Okay. First index of. Okay. Nothing. I think. So I can say, let's turn it into something, otherwise get out. And then say code index equals choice. I believe this will pass. Okay, clean it up. Nice. Let's get this in. Wow, time is really flying by in this session. I feel like this has been very smooth, very typical test-driven development. It just happens to involve Swift directly calling SwiftUI because we've set up all that infrastructure to do so. But we're using the infrastructure we already made, so we haven't had to go and figure out, how do we target this thing. Let's see. This is a new feature with just a couple lines. That's good. With this, I don't think we need a setter anymore. Hang on, John. Let's do some renaming. And setter question. Renaming. I wanted to do a little bit of renaming on the round. What was it? First, I want to rename this. Rename helper to make a guess. The actual app has some kind of variable that holds the next position that the user can change. It is used to show, yeah. Yep, it does. So rename that guess to set was the other one. I think that was in game screen. Yeah, that should just be guess. Oh, it's not going to do it for us. What if I rename it here? Oh, come on. Fine, we'll fix it up. So this will now break because it didn't figure out that we need to rename it here. Honestly. That is a definite improvement. So that was not really a fully automated test. That was, on the other hand, it wouldn't compile without this. So I'm going to mark it as automated. It's more like provable. Simplify. That we are getting almost done with our day. One more thing that I want to do is, do we need the setter? Like if I get rid of this, what breaks? Let's find out. A lot. But they're not all in tests. Well, that one we're definitely going to get rid of. These we can get rid of. Okay. So I think I can do this step by step. By saying, yes, what was it? Like that. And then like that. And similar here, except this one will be in blue. That is red. So that is progress. Let's use, oops. We had one more place that used them. That was in, let's find it, here. Oh, if that's, whoop, come on. It's back here. And perhaps that should be place choice and next slot, since it might not be empty later on. I like that. Let's do rename. So this is, I'm going to rename the test. That should build. Oops, 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 oops. Come back. Rip. Rename to, and finally, and then we'll probably wrap up. This test is now redundant. If we're getting rid of the setter, I say, I don't want this anymore. We thank it. It did its job. Great. Hang on, let's stick around. I think I'm going to run about 5 minutes over today because I forgot to change empty to next. Oh, did I? Boo. Thank you. Remove setter test. And thank you. Place choice in next. Thank you. Okay, now I think we have just one place that is using the setter. And that will be the one place we want to change. Whoops. Not quite. Almost there. Come on. Let's do this. All right. So this will be SUT. Oh, we can't do it. I can't get rid of it yet. That's okay. I'm just going to leave this one here for now. The nice thing is that thinking this, I like the way this is coming full circle, that my sort of note to myself about getting away from setters is leading us in the right direction. It's creating objects that are not anemic. Right, so I think that's it. Let's do used place choice blah in more tests. Now let's reactivate the test we have here. Reactivate this so it will fail. Good. And now here we can finally say guess code peg is a funny name, but now this should pass. Oh! I have no idea why bookmarks have mark as complete versus just delete it. I want to see what it looks like. If I mark it as complete, oh, it puts a check. Suppose somebody likes that. I'm just deleting. All right. All right. So what this does is this. And we'll come back here next time. Let me get this in. Click advances guest slot. That's kind of confusing. It is support. Yeah, that must be what the bookmarks are for, as in some sort of team agreement. I feel like that is Xcode being opinionated about, everyone will find this useful, when there are other ways to mark things done or not. Especially because you can bookmark a line or a file, but it's like, what about it? Is there something you can describe about the bookmark? You can edit the description. Oh. So it can say, do something, something, something. Interesting. Anyway, I am in the middle of support multiple slots, but game is still over on first slot. Woo! This was neat. Let's do a quick retro. We've got our marker here for next time. We did extract maker, kind of the SET maker in tests. That's something I want to keep in mind, as clearly I have not been doing it, and I see the value of doing it. So why not do it earlier? What else did you observe? It's just you, Mudshark. Everyone else is gone. We move away from setter. We're not quite done with that, but that's okay. I did a fair amount of go down the road, hit roadblock, choose direction, and reset. This happens a lot, and that is kind of, it's like the Mikado method in small form, but without noting roadblocks of roadblocks of roadblocks in a graph. So that was nice. Anything else? Continuing to give the model, start something, find that you need to do something else first. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Put the smarts in the object. That's the same thing as move away from the setters. Is that, let objects do their thing, and you should be able then to tell them what to do, not ask them for information and make decisions based on the guts of primitives that they feed back to you. All right, well, that will do it. Thanks very much for joining us, including the folks who came by earlier. And for folks who are watching on YouTube, I hope this has been helpful. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. This was I felt like a nice, smooth session showing what test-driven development can really look like with SwiftUI. All right, yeah, I should be here. Yeah, it should be good. All right, then that is it. And take care. I will see you hopefully next week. Bye-bye. Oh, and next week, the US will also shift our time, which we didn't, but we still are. So I'll be back in sync with you, Mudshar. All right? And any other folks watching from Europe. Take care. See ya.